Okay guys, for breakfast I'm going to be making a Copycat Crackle Barrel recipe. My good friend Jen made it on her channel a while back, Jen's WW Journey here on YouTube. And ever since I saw it, I wanted to make it. I just never did. So, perfect day to go ahead and show you guys. It calls for 2 pounds of hash browns, so that is what I have here. I actually had to measure this out, and it took a little while because I didn't have a 2-pound bag of hash browns. I had a 4-pound bag, so I did have to measure that out. I have that sitting here in this bowl. We're going to be using this casserole dish right here. You're going to need some butter, some light butter. I'm going with, I can't believe it's not butter. Some sour cream, light sour cream. You'll need an onion, a small white onion. Healthy request, cream of chicken soup. And I'm going to go ahead and mix fat-free cheddar with a low moisture part skim mozzarella. So hopefully that will lower the points a bit. That's what Jen did in her video. She used fat-free and a light mozzarella. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. You'll need some salt and pepper. And then last, some oil spray. I'm going to go ahead and spray my dish. Spray it really good so it doesn't stick. I'm going to go ahead and add my hash browns to this. Some of them are still a bit frozen. Alright, next I'm going to add some salt and pepper. I'm not measuring my salt and pepper. I'm just going to add, you know, what I feel like it needs.
I'll never catch him while I'm this small. Curious butterflies.
You mean bread and butterflies?
Oh, yes, of course.
Next, we're going to add just a little bit of that minced onion. Just because it does call for it, I want to add a little bit. I think that'll be good and add a little crispiness to it. So I added quite a bit. So I have half a cup of minced onion, about a half a cup of minced onion, I think, and my chopped small white onion. I might need a bigger bowl, honestly. Let's add this to a bigger bowl. Ooh, it smells good. It smells so oniony. You're going to add your melted butter, 2 ounces of melted butter in there. We're going to add our sour cream, 8 ounces of light sour cream. The cream of chicken soup. Just mix this all together, and it's going to look so yummy. Honestly, it kind of looks like banana pudding. Now just add it all onto hash browns. Now we're going to add our cheese. So I'm going to do 1 cup of each. So I'm going to do the fat-free cheddar. I'm going to do 1 cup of that. A little bit more. Okay. There's 1 cup of that. And then we're going to do 1 cup mozzarella. This is light, low moisture, part skim mozzarella. Ooh, it's soft too. I'm going to add 2 cups of that. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to just now spread this evenly over the casserole, do some white throughout, and then some of the orange, some of the cheddar. going to go pop this into the oven, and I will show you, of course, once it's done. I'm a little too excited. Alright guys, the Copycat cheesy hash brown Crackle Barrel casserole is done. It looks amazing. It looks so good. I can't wait to cut into it and portion it out and see what it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to go ahead and pack this up and pop it into the fridge. Okay, now that I've cut them up and put them in the Tupperwares, you definitely could make 10 out of them. There were some really big pieces in there. I'm just going to call it 10 because there's one piece in here that's humongous that could be cut in half. So it definitely makes 10 servings. So pop the lids on. There we go. There's my breakfast. I'm going to pair it with either turkey bacon or some scrambled eggs, but for the most part, this is the main part of my breakfast this week. Alright guys, so for lunch I'm going to be making chicken meatballs again. I did previously just kind of show a meatball in one of my meal preps, but these ingredients are a bit different, so I decided to still show you and meal prep this because they were so good, and this one's going to be a little bit different, and I think it's going to be so good. So what you need is some cheese. We're going to be using reduced fat feta to keep it low in points for these meatballs. You'll need ground chicken. I'm going to be using this Tyson ground chicken. You'll need 2 cloves of garlic, some kale. I have about a cup here. And then the star of the show is the sun-dried tomatoes, which are so good and I feel like are going to be amazing in this dish. So we're going to be using some of that. And you'll also need some scissors because we're going to cut these up in real small pieces. Okay, so there is the mixture. It looks so good. Now we're going to go ahead and form the balls. So I try to make them a little bit, not too big, because I want them to cook evenly and a little bit faster rather than, you know, making a really big one that take a little bit longer. So just like a small to medium sized ball. And the feta is kind of chunky in here. I didn't really crumble it, but I kind of like it because like it pops out and I think it's going to kind of melt really nice. So go ahead and start forming your balls.
You're a strawberry kiss, 'cause nothing is sweet. The taste still drives me crazy. My strawberry.
Okay, next I'm just going to spray them with some olive oil spray, just so they get a little brown and crispy. That's like the best part. And then I'm going to, again, season the top with salt, pepper. Oh my god, these look so good. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and pop these into the oven and bake them. Alright guys, these sun-dried tomato feta chicken meatballs are done. They look so good. I'm going to go ahead and pack them up into this container. I seriously love chicken meatballs, you guys. It's a addiction. This with like a side of Brussels sprouts or green beans, it's just amazing. It's so good. Highly recommend trying them out. Yum. I took one. Amazing. Alright guys, for dinner I'm going to be making one of my favorite recipes. It is my Greek chicken, and it comes out to be 1 smart point for a chicken breast. And I do butterfly my chicken, okay, so what you will need is obviously some chicken breast. I have 3 chicken breasts in my casserole dish that I butterflied, so that's sitting right here. I like to butterfly them because they cook a little bit better. You'll need some tomatoes. I'm going with cherry tomatoes that I'm going to dice up a little bit. You'll need a white onion, a can of artichoke hearts, some kind of balsamic vinaigrette, some calamari olives, if you like olives, of course, some reduced fat feta, and garlic cloves are in here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up everything that needs to be cut up. But before I do that, I want to show you what I do with the chicken. I have the chicken sitting here in a casserole dish, and what I do to season it, which you do want this heavily seasoned, it makes it so much better because you're going to have a lot of vegetables, so you want everything seasoned really well. I spray it with olive oil spray. And then in here I have salt and pepper. I have 1/2 teaspoon of onion and garlic powder, and then 1 teaspoon of dried oregano and basil. That's what's in here. Mix it up in here, and then I'm going to just use about half of this seasoning on the chicken while it's in the casserole dish. And then once I add all of the vegetables on top, I will add a little bit of seasoning onto that. So hopefully that makes sense. So I mix all those seasonings together, and then I just take a little teaspoon and sprinkle it onto the chicken. I feel like it makes everything easier to make sure that everything's seasoned evenly and well. So that's what I do. Okay, so now I'm going to save the remainder for the vegetables.
Slowly kisses passing by the river. I've been missing your strawberry kiss, 'cause nothing as sweet the taste still drive me crazy. My strawberry kisses, I could fly through the wind. Boy, you're the top of my list. I'm falling head over toes.
Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add the balsamic vinaigrette. I'm going to add, I believe, 4 tablespoons. We'll see what it looks like. So 3, 4. Now I'm going to add the rest of the seasonings in there and the veggies that we had saved aside. And then I'm just going to mix everything together. Make sure it's coated well with the balsamic, which it looks like 4 tablespoons is plenty. Now we're going to go ahead and add the toppings onto the chicken. You just kind of want to pour it on there and then spread it out. Now I can tell you this will create liquid because obviously you're using all these veggies that once cooked they do have liquid. So halfway through baking, or like towards 10 minutes before, I take this out and I drain it, and then I pop it back into the oven and cook it. So just note that this will create a little bit of liquid because of the dressing and the veggies. Now we're going to go ahead and pop this into the oven, and I will show you once it's done. It just came out of the oven. Ooh, it's so good. Alright guys, it is done. It looks absolutely delicious. I'm going to go ahead and pack it up. Alright, next is something a little bit different that I've never done, and I'm hoping it comes out super good. Now, there is kind of a lot of ingredients, but I feel like most people will have most of these things in their house and won't have to purchase too much more stuff. But what this is going to be is a yogurt bark. Yes, a yogurt fruit bark. So, I'm just going to be using non-fat yogurt, not Greek yogurt. This is plain light non-fat Greek yogurt. It's 0 points, so I'm going to be using that. And then you'll need some sugar-free vanilla pudding mix. You will need some sugar-free syrup in replacement of honey or agave. You could go ahead and use that, but this is 0 points for as much as we're going to be using. You will need a little bit of salt for this, and then some lemon. And I feel like it says lemon for a reason. I was going to skip it, but I don't know if it like helps it harden or something. I don't really know. So you will need a little bit of lemon, and then your choice of fruit for your toppings. So the bark that I have the recipe from Pinterest uses blueberries and strawberries. But I'm going to be using this super ripe mango I have because I feel like that's going to actually be really good, and I love mango. So I'm using mango and strawberries, and then I'm going to drizzle it with peanut butter. This is my PB2 peanut butter I've made before. It's just PB2 and syrup. You mix it together. I think I accidentally deleted one of the clips, so I'm gonna have to just show you guys. This is what it looks like. You mix all the ingredients together, the yogurt, the vanilla powder, the syrup, and the salt in a bowl, and then I lined it with parchment paper on a sheet, baking sheet. I'm using a pretty small one because I don't have much room in my freezer. Try to get it as thin as possible, and then you put your fruit down, and then I drizzled some PB2 peanut butter on top of the strawberries, and I'm going to go ahead and place this in the freezer, and I am going to put it in there for like 5 hours because I feel like it's going to take a little bit of time because it's a little bit thicker, and my freezer takes a lot longer to freeze things. So it does call for 2 to 3 hours, but you'll be able to tell once, you know, as time goes, you'll be able to tell if it's hardened. So I'm going to go pop this in the freezer, and fingers crossed that this turns out good. Alright, let's see if I can cut it up and how the consistency is going to be. I mean, it looks really good. There we go. I made them into really small pieces, but this is what they look like. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. It actually looks really good. I'm going to try it real quick. And the flavor is really good. The only thing I would say is next time I would put it on a bigger sheet, even though I have limited space in my freezer, but make them a little bit thinner and I think they would be even better. But the flavor is on point. It's really good. It's a fun little snack dessert that I made for my meal prep this week. I'm definitely going to eat it all. And so will Joey. So okay.